Hello everyone, my name is Mary Alade. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer for AON Reinsurance Solutions Limited and the founder of the insurance community, also known as TIC. TIC is a platform that brings together young people, students, insurance professionals and insurance organizations for the purposes of learning and development, networking, connecting and much more. Today on our first ever episode of TIC Talk, we have with us Jeremy Goodman, who is the Global Head of Broking Strategy and also the UK President at AON Reinsurance Solutions. He is going to share with us his story, his journey into the industry and share some amazing opportunities that it entails and share his story about how he got to where he is today. It's definitely going to be eye-opening and should give us more of an insight into our world and the opportunities that it entails.
I'm Jeremy Goodman. I'm President of AON Reinsurance Solutions UK and Global Head of Broking Strategies. What do? I'm in the business of being able to help our clients and our colleagues understand how we can provide reinsurance solutions accessing all forms of capital around the world to be able to manage the volatility arising out of the business that our insurance company clients write. I had a great opportunity when I was in high school to have a week's work experience, and through my mother, who had a friend whose husband was working in the Lloyd's market, he very kindly arranged for me to have a week's work experience working at a Lloyd's broker. One of the most enjoyable weeks I've ever had. I got a chance to meet a bunch of new people. They made it fun and exciting. And from that, I expressed an interest in joining the industry. And the private Lloyd's broker that I was working for offered me a job back in 1985. And I've never looked back. And so since 1985, I worked in the London market. I spent a lot of time with more experienced colleagues learning what they do and how they do it. And I was learning about different countries and different businesses, whether it be large complex oil refineries and chemical facilities in Mexico, or homeowners in the Virgin Islands that got hit in 1989 by a devastating hurricane, Hurricane Hugo, or looking at business in North America or in Australia. So I've had a great experience that after a few years in the London market, the company I was working for opened up an office in New York. I was fascinated with the US and asked if I could have an opportunity to go out there. And I went there on a 3-year secondment, arriving in 1990. A year or so later, I actually met my wife, and at the end of the secondment, I was given the opportunity to stay. Following that, again, it was working for a small independent Lloyd's broker. They were looking to expand out into the Asia Pacific region. And so myself and a couple of others were given an opportunity to go and do some research out in the Asia Pacific region. We went out there to all different countries, identifying lots of different insurers, brokers, and meeting with everybody that we could to learn more about the business. And when we came back, I was asked if I could put together a business plan. I left school at 17. I had no idea how to put a business plan together. So I went to the bookstore and bought 3 books on how to write a business plan, one of which was A Business Guide for Dummies. And it was terrific. Ended up putting a business plan together, and then after that I was asked if I would like the opportunity to go out and start the business. So my wife and I, we'd been married less than a year. She was 6 months pregnant. We landed in Singapore and ended up negotiating with the monetary authority to get a license, lease office space, hire people. It was a real practical MBA and a terrific experience, and very much a pivotal part of my life as I started to fundamentally understand different aspects of how to run and manage a business and how to grow business in another part of the world. So when I was at school, I think one of the things I wanted to do was actually join the military. and specifically I wanted to join the Royal Marines. So I actually spent quite a bit of time with the Royal Marines on training exercises and learning about it. But actually when it sort of came time to decide what to do, I had, as I mentioned earlier, this opportunity to do a week's work experience at Lloyd's of London, and I found that a lot more fun, a lot more interesting, and I felt it was probably a better fit for me, and I've never looked back. I think some of the highlights have very much been all the different people that I've met during my working life, many of whom have become very strong personal friends. In addition to that, I've had the opportunity to travel all over the world, to learn about different countries, different cultures, different businesses. And so the opportunity to meet so many people, learn so much, build relationships, and to have a better understanding of the world and the different cultures, I think has been an amazing sort of highlight, and the opportunity to be able to take my family to different parts of the world where they were born, or to be able to visit. As I look back, there's nothing that I would have done differently. I've also liked the opportunity to be challenged to learn new things, challenged by clients to help them in extraordinarily difficult and complex areas, whether it be exposures to earthquake, hurricane, or whether it be exposures to economic adversity. And so those challenges have been sort of personally really enjoyable, and working together as a team, winning as a team, sometimes losing as a team, but working together as a team, recognizing that you don't have all the answers. I've got some strengths, I've got many, many weaknesses, and my colleagues will probably be very happy to tell you all the weaknesses I've got. But when I was out in Singapore, it became very apparent that a strength is being able to surround yourself with people who are so much better than you in a variety of different areas. So if you can build that team where everybody complements each other, it's terrifically rewarding. It's a great feeling to be able to have an incredibly strong team that's working together as one team, and just a lot of fun. And wanting to be able to have fun in everything that I do with the colleagues that I work with, continues to be a highlight every single day. There've definitely been some low points and some challenges. And I think that sort of happens just naturally every day, every week, every month, every year. Because you don't have low points, you're never going to fully appreciate sort of the high points. I think some of the low points have been trying to find that work-life balance. And people call it a work-life balance. There's no balance. It's a work-life tug-of-war. And I think I continue to struggle with that to ensure that there is some level of balance. One of my children, when they were pretty young, was very, very unwell. And it was a pivotal moment for me, as I started to realize that I'd worked pretty hard, I'd worked late, I'd traveled, I'd missed reading story time or bath time or going to a sports game or whatever. And I realized that you could never get that time back. And as I started to realize that, it sort of guided me to make sure that you don't live with any regrets, because you can't actually get that time back again. So figuring out what's important to you, making sure that you are true to yourself, true to your family, true to your friends, and try and find that work-life balance, which is a tug of war. I love work, I enjoy what I do, I wake up excited every single day. Many people say you're crazy, but it's really important. I love what I do, I like who I work with, I like who I trade with externally. And those three things are fundamentally important to me being happy with myself and therefore happy to be around friends and family and just a lot more enjoyable. In a short answer, yes, I think there is a shortage of talent. I'd phrase the question slightly differently in that, the insurance industry doesn't sound particularly sexy. And I don't think we do a particularly good job as an industry to sort of highlight what we as an industry do, how planes don't fly if they don't have insurance. People don't have medical insurance and healthcare if we're not providing insurance coverage. Businesses can't start, so people can't be entrepreneurial unless insurance sort of helps them. And then you've got whole societies that are exposed to a range of different sort of natural hazards. And insurance is there yet again to be able to provide a level of security and support both to the governments and to the people that have been impacted. So I think we as an industry need to do a better job of promoting what we do, how we benefit society, how we benefit commerce, how we benefit governments, because it's truly a global business and it underpins absolutely every sort of facet of society. And I think if we can promote ourselves better, school leavers, people graduating from college, they'll have a greater appreciation of the opportunity of what our industry provides to society and the opportunity for them to be able to meet so many new people, build relationships, get involved in so many different industries, geographies, and cultures. So I think we need to do a better job of highlighting what we do. So I've been fortunate enough to be in the insurance and reinsurance industry for over 35 years. And many years ago, I was thinking about what's important to me, and I've distilled it down to three things. I need to enjoy what I do every day. So I need to wake up in the morning and actually be excited about my job. Maybe I'm not excited every single day, but over a period of time, I need to enjoy what I do and be excited about it. I also need to like who I work with. And that's really important because you're spending the majority of your waking hours with your colleagues. So you need to enjoy their company, you need to like them, you need to trust them. And thirdly, you're trading with people outside of your firm. And you need to like the people that you trade with. Our industry's been absolutely terrific in providing me and many others the opportunity to meet so many different people from so many different countries and backgrounds and businesses. And you build those personal relationships. And that becomes very, very rewarding, both personally and professionally. So I would say you need to enjoy what you do over a period of time. You need to be excited about it. You need to like who you work with and like who you trade with. And if you've got those three things in a pretty good balance over a period of time, I would say you've been very successful. If I was going to start again, knowing what I know now, I would have invested a lot more time and effort in networking, building relationships. Networking in those relationships is incredibly powerful and can be incredibly helpful to you. And so I wish I'd spent more time knowing that so I could consciously build that network. The other thing I would probably do is spend more time making sure that I know the fundamentals of the business. Because after a period of time, everybody expects you to know all of the answers. And if you haven't asked all the questions in the beginning, at some point in time, it becomes a little difficult to kind of go back. So making sure that I sort of understand the fundamentals of the business. One of the great things about our industry is that there's a diverse range of different job and career opportunities. So if you like spending time with different people, we're a very personable business, and we've got terrific opportunities for those people that want to be able to interact and build some relationships. If you're a little bit more on the sort of data and analytics side, it is a huge and growing part of our industry. We have enormous amounts of data. We have huge amounts of analysis that provide insights to colleagues and clients all over the world. So the ability for those of you that have interest in data analytics to be able to interact with thousands of colleagues around the world and with many other sort of clients and trading partners, again, a terrific opportunity. If you're into research, to learn about new and different exposures that are emerging, whether it be artificial intelligence, the emergence of cybersecurity and the exposures from that, or natural hazards. Our industry has it all. So please, whoever you may be, whatever interests you may have, whatever sort of drives your passion, let's go and explore it together.
There you've had it from our own Jeremy Goodman, and what a fantastic session that was. Now, if you want to know more about the insurance sector, more about the reinsurance sector, please make sure you follow the insurance community. Now, stay tuned for more of these sort of sessions with different leading industry professionals, providing you with more insight on what the insurance industry has to offer you. Stay tuned.